I had been in the hospital a couple of times recently with just different illnesses associated with gut inflammation. And I was very frustrated. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. Why was I having this gut inflammation? And it was scaring me because I was told that I could develop Crohn's disease and just, and I know that inflammation in general is very, very bad. I lost my mother to Alzheimer's a couple of years ago, and I know that inflammation is associated with that too. So I really was scared that I need to get that under control. So that was probably the biggest impetus. In addition to the inflammation, just a lifetime of yo-yo dieting, yo-yo energy levels, just mysterious brain fog, I just went through menopause. And so then some new things had cropped up. The brain fog has gotten worse, hot flashes, and then just kind of an accumulation of lifetime bad habits and sitting in a desk all day. Just those were, I was just starting to think if I don't get a handle on this now, I may never get a handle on this. So a lot of my frustration has been surrounded with all the conflicting advice. So at the gym, I was told meat, and then my son was vegan, the animal's bad, and I would try something and quickly get discouraged, and then bounce to something else, get discouraged, bounce to something else, and nothing really, I'd maybe feel good for a little while, and I don't know if it was maybe psychosomatic. I'm excited, I'm trying something new, but just kind of bouncing around, trying different things was getting very frustrating for me. And I think that one thing that I liked about your program was that it offered a customized approach. So instead of just saying, constantly experimenting on myself, because my husband had a lot of GI issues. And so we had tried the FODMAP diet and the gluten-free diet and the lactose-free diet and veganism and paleo and just all these various, keto even briefly, which I hate meat. So that was a real challenge. But we had tried all these different things. Nothing was really working. And what I liked about your program is it's very customized. So instead of experimenting on yourself and seeing, is this working? Isn't this working? I can't tell. And it's hard to isolate the variable. What do almonds do to me? But it's hard to isolate one variable. And so I like the customized approach that starts with testing to say, okay, this diet may work great for this person or this person, but here's what you need based on your test results. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for a little less what I call flailing. I was kind of flailing about. My husband was working with a physical therapist who kind of specializes in GI issues and pelvic floor issues, and that therapist had recommended you to him. And so I kind of saw all the test results he got, all the amazing test results he got, all the information, and how helpful that was. And so that's how I found out about you. That's why I wanted to try that same program. So what I decided was I'm going to commit to this. All right, but absolutely commit to this. So if I hear something I don't like, I'm going to invest money, time, get blood tests. I made up my mind. I signed up for 6 months. I'm like, I'm going to commit to this. And if I hear something I don't like, I'm not going to just hit the bricks like I have been doing with all these other programs. And I think that was very helpful because initially you gave me some advice that I didn't like. You're like, you need more protein. I'm like, no, I don't. It's not what I'm reading. I don't like meat. You're like, trust me, if you eat it, and I still don't eat beef and pork. I'm not a major carnivore, but I've added some, fish and chicken and turkey. And you said, if you start eating it, small amounts, build it up, you will develop a taste for it. And I have, because my gut wasn't used to it. It wasn't digesting it well. Cause you even said, one of the tests said, I don't have good enzymes for digesting protein. I need a supplement to support that. And that's part of why I don't like it. It's kind of a vicious cycle. So some of the things that you told me early on, I was like, no, I'm not really sure. But I had committed in my head and money wise, I'd committed to this program for 6 months to stick it out. And I'm glad I did, because I think it's just really easy to walk away from something that you don't have that kind of commitment in. And also, one thing I didn't mention is one of my test results came back with a very high iron level. And you questioned that. You said, that's a really high iron level. And I said, oh, yeah, I've always had high iron. Isn't that great? Most women are low iron. And you said, your iron level is worryingly high. You need to get tested for hemochromatosis. And I'm like, yeah, my doctor never really mentioned that. You said, go get tested. And I did. And I have it. I found out I have it. It's a genetic disorder that makes my body stash iron in places it shouldn't stash it, which can cause organ failure. It can be life-threatening. And so, I was literally, you literally probably saved my life, honestly, and that's huge. But just finding out, I think encouraging somebody to sign up and get real customized information about what they need, and then working with an expert who can say, here's your test result, here's what that means. You didn't tell me you've got to give up dairy, because I didn't need to give up dairy. A lot of people do. 70% of people do. I didn't, but I need to give up gluten. It's just less of a flailing and an experimenting on yourself, and it's a lot more an expert helping interpret results, saying, and therefore this is the supplement you need. Here's the supplement you need right now, and then we're going to change it in the there's an initial phase, there's kind of a midterm phase, and then there's a long-term phase. And you kind of walked me through all that. And it was just a lot less guesswork, a lot less frustration. So even though I didn't like all your recommendations, I had made the commitment to do it for 6 months. And it has, I'm very glad that I did. I didn't realize how bad sugar was. And not only is it bad for your weight, but it was causing a lot of my brain fog. It was causing a lot of my hot flashes. I mean, there's an absolute connection between, if I want to just sweat profusely all day long, I should eat sugar. I mean, that's a thing that I learned. I hadn't really noticed that connection before. But I'm not craving sugar right now. It becomes a vicious circle. If you stop eating sugar, you stop feeding the sugar alien, he kind of shrivels up. He doesn't die. He can be resurrected, I've discovered, if you go on a trip and you're eating a lot of sugar. But he's very unhealthy right now. And so he's not in control. Just the education about the macros, the supplements, the sugar, the things that I need to avoid, but also knowing that I can go on vacation and, not be perfect and come back and get back on track. It's a marathon. I can take a break now and then, but I know what I need to do to get back on track. My habits are more sustainable. I've, developed some good recipes and techniques and schedules, and I just have a lot more confidence now that I know what I need to do.